Hola, everyone. We're gonna play a little Rogue Trader. I need to play something today. I need a palate cleanser. That's what I need. So we're gonna do a little bit of this. I'm deep in the game. I think it's officially Act 5 now. Jeez, what's it? Oh no, it's still Chapter 4. We still gotta do this. We had a Void Ship Bridge, talk to Nomos. Mysterious planet and the sacred ship await at Wrath Tawi. Let the cycle be discontinued. System Speculo. Alright, let's see where we can go. I installed the DLC, the one that's been out since August or whatever it is. I can't remember the name of it now. It's the only one available, but there's another DLC coming out at the end of this month. I think on the 26th. So I'm very excited about that. System Speculo is down there. That's where we want to go. Alright. Let's get down there. System Speculo. Oh, we gotta go there first. Lord Captain, permission to address you with a request. Our head chirurgeon is sabotaging the ship's operations. He has quarantined several Voidsman crews on account of a piddling sickness. People don't even go to the medbay when they come down with it. They just wipe their noses and keep working. Only a dozen sort die from it in a whole year. We're sitting on our hands here, so I ask you to talk some sense into them. Okay. Well then. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Do. What do we got here? We got some shit heel in Twitch chat. Bot, spammer, bye-bye. See you later. Fuck off. We don't do that shit around here. Alright, what's next? Greetings, your ladyship. My name is Latard Forius, and I am the Chirurgeon Majoress of the vessel. As your chief Medicae specialist, I assure you that the quarantine is well warranted. This piddling sickness has claimed the lives of a number of meritorious officers in the past. This time I intend to get the epidemic under control, study the disease thoroughly, and develop a proper cure. I hope you will agree that a single period of downtime and a small price to pay for the number of lives that would be saved and the increase in the crew's performance during other such outbreaks in the future. Not to mention the fact that we don't have to waste stimulants due to the afflicted using them as a crutch to offset their limited work capacity. How do you intend to study this disease? By gathering enough infected individuals together, letting the illness progress, comprehending its properties, and finally killing it. The disease goes through several stages, with each containing clues to its nature and vulnerabilities. The Voidsman will have to stay sick for some time until I discover the cure, assuming, of course, that the disease is reversible in its final stages. Defeating a disease is a noble goal, but I cannot approve of your methods. Find volunteers among the crew who will agree to be infected in exchange for compensation. I expect you to cure every one of them once you're done. This may limit the potential of the study, but this approach is also acceptable. I will make up for the lack of material with my expertise. Thank you for taking your crew's health into consideration. Should you require my services, you may find me on the bridge, your ladyship. As I am now fated to be your shadow, we must perform a ritual that will seal our bond, for it pleases the Undying One. Let us speak on the bridge, and I will take us to a place appropriate for the ritual. What is this ritual? Come, and you will see. Do not speak of the mysteries of the blood-spun web over the Vox. This knowledge is not meant for the ears of the uninitiated. Fine. Alright, she's waiting for me on the bridge. Well, let's get to System Speculo first. Or get close. Oh, what's gonna happen now? What's gonna happen now? I wonder. What is this little ritual? It involves a pool? The heck she got on her belt there? Oh my god, what is going on here? pool of blood? That's not good, is it? I don't think so. That's probably really bad. I'm anxious to see this blade dancer in real action. Sarbach, how could you have let this happen? An assassination attempt upon the rogue traitor in her own chambers, right under the noses of your enforcers. Jocasta Sarbach, the master-at-arms, radiates grim fury. Her eyes are dark, her lips pursed. With a practiced hand, she removes the maul from her belt and offers it to you. An unforgivable error. I accept full responsibility and ask for due punishment. Such a good, obedient monkey. Go on, Pandora. Do not deny the rest of us the pleasure of watching. I want an explanation, not vain self-chastisement. Put that weapon away and report. Understood, Lord Captain reporting. All adjacent decks have been isolated. We've begun our search for the culprit and have set up an investigation headquarters on the officer's deck. The substance has been analyzed and confirmed to be blood containing traces of major mutations. While it poses no risk of infection to your ladyship, the very presence of such genetic aberration on board is a serious threat to the safety of the ship and must be addressed promptly. One word of this gets out, many among the crew will surely see it as a brazen challenge to your status as a rogue traitor. What kind of genetic aberration? The heresy of mutation. Mutants are vicious beasts who sow only ruin and death. They are devoid of humanity, and the vile blood that runs through their veins feeds their unclean thoughts and urges. Numerous accounts speak of entire colonies falling prey to bloody uprisings staged by these creatures. All because their governors were too squeamish to order genetic purges. You don't say, Adira says. I wonder why somebody we don't consider human and exterminate by the thousands would think to revolt. What a crazy mystery. Alas, Henrik says, the Imperium's enemies are not limited only to those within its midst. Mutants can become a considerable threat, especially when given the chance to organize. The heretics have revealed themselves and are eager to fight, Argenta says. And fight we shall. Let the vessel be purged of their filth. Could this have been an assassination attempt? Then they would have filled the bath with acid or poison instead. There are easier ways to kill someone than drowning them in blood, as foul as that blood may be. I beg to differ, Cassius says. Were something of this sort to happen to me, my heart would surely stop. What do you intend to do next? Captain, this incident has cast a shadow on our honor. We only ask for one thing, a chance to absolve ourselves of our guilt. Allow me to head to the officer's deck at once so that I may lead the investigation personally. Lord Captain, on a previous occasion it was your intervention that resolved a matter that my own rigidity had only succeeded in making worse. With all due respect to Mistress Sauerbach, perhaps she would benefit from your fresh perspective. Seneschal, do you think so little of me that you would rob me of a chance to defend my honor? Well, I see. I'm curious to see the Master-at-Arms in action. I will preside over the investigation. Of course, Lord Captain. I will arrange for an area befitting your status to be prepared on the officer's deck. Well, absolution in blood. Observe the investigation. Okay. Well, that creates things. Go to the officer's deck. Oh, so this is a chapter 2 thing. I see, because of the DLC, because we started it late. Alright. Officer's deck. Well, let's go find out. Wait a minute. What the heck is this? Where are we at? It's the Void Ship Bridge. Wait, there's loot in here? What? Where is this loot? What is this loot? Cracked data slate. Okay. Goods. Unfinished letter. Voigtver's mistake cost me too much. Years of work, tremendous resources, all wasted. Okay. We'll grab that one. What's this? Change appearance. Oh, I don't want to change my appearance. You kidding me? Yes. I don't want to do any of that. All right. I thought I was going to another deck, but instead I just went to my quarters. I think the other deck elevators. Am I too late for the jail chapter? Void. Yes, you are, because the jail chapter is 3. This is the end of 4 and part of 2. I just installed the DLC last night, and so I have the Blade Mistress person in here. This is to the Lord Captain's quarters. Where is this? To another compartment. Okay, that's where I want to go. So I want to go see. I got this little investigation we got to do. Mikhail Izayo says, I love this game. Yeah, me too. I'm loving almost all of it, for sure. The officer's dead. Let's go. Yeah, so we just picked up her Kabbalah. I want to see how she plays. Obviously, there's a little tutorial when you first get her, but that's not like having her fully spec'd out. So, and where we're in chapter 4, there was a lot to spec out. So I ran through her with my first impression of how I thought to play her. And then I went and got Verglia's build instead, because I was like, I want to see what Verglia did with her. And he did something different. So the new DLC looks great. Mikhail says, yes. And I'm really excited. And so that's kind of what I'm waiting for before I start an official Let's Play on the channel and do all the episodes. Is I'm waiting for that DLC to come out, and then I'm going to start a brand new game, and I'm going to start a Let's Play series for it, because I have really enjoyed my time with this game. There's only 2 things that have irritated me. One is the start of chapter 3, because as everybody knows, I hate the go to jail quest in every RPG, which is essentially what that is. Strip you of all your gear and leave you naked and let you fumble around in the dark for a little while. And then there was some of the ship battles have been kind of a pain in the ass. I really feel like the ship battles could have been much better. I really don't like it that during a lot of ship battles, they're just like, oh yeah, 75% of your abilities don't work because of space magic, you know, of your enemy. And it's like, come on, man, you give me all these tools to have, and then you just take them away from me on like every ship battle. Come on. It's brain dead design. Like, give me the tools and let me play with them. That's the whole point. Her ladyship, the Rogue Trader, has seen fit to honor us with her presence in order to monitor the course of the investigation. You are expected to perform your duties immaculately and report your every step to me. Should any of your actions bring shame to the enforcers, you will answer to me personally. Lord Captain, the 3 officers before you have been tasked with conducting the investigation. The first, Captain Klein, is a veteran with a record of quelled uprisings of mutant abominations in the colonies. Captain Ginevri is young, but she has already preempted several mutinies among the ship's rabble. Lastly, there is Captain Horotko. His interrogation skills deserve credit, and he knows how to instill fear and respect firmly in the minds of the riffraff. One of the interesting things about this game that I really do love is, and this has not been something that I can say is common for Owlcat's games up to this point, is there are so many good companions and companion builds that I actually feel bummed that I can't take more than 6 companions in my party. That's a problem that all great party-based RPGs give me. The Baldur's Gate series in particular, all the way from Baldur's Gate 1 through to Baldur's Gate 3, I'm always like, God, I wish I could take more characters with me. And then the first Pillars of Eternity, well, both Pillars of Eternity games. Unfortunately, the second Pillars of Eternity is just too annoying to play. So Abelard says, their drilling is good. Their service records are excellent. Let's see how they perform in the field. Every time I have to set my party up in this game, choosing the companions is painful. I like them all. Can I just take 10 of them instead of 6? I don't care if it makes the fights easy. I just want to use all their abilities because they're so much fun to play. What are your findings so far? We have discovered a worker's corpse mutilated and dissected. We are still looking into the man's identity and position, but the surgeon's report has confirmed that among all the blood that was pumped into your bath chamber, the blood-carrying mutations was indeed his. The workers from the nearby decks have all been checked for genetic aberration, but the mutations identified are all within the norm for laboring masses. They are being rounded up for interrogation as we speak. Irilette frowns as she surveys the dead. So much noise and empty violence. I'm surprised you're able to find anything in this pandemonium of your own making. No kidding. This ship is hilarious. Even taking into account the neighboring decks only, that constitutes hundreds of people. How do you plan to question them all? One at a time. One at a time with chocolate brownies and milk. Do you want to do this the easy way? Or we can do this the hard way. If you've never seen that commercial, you're missing out. Our interrogation techniques are broad and varied. However, nothing loosens the tongue like corporal punishment. Beatings, mutilations, torture, public executions. When combined with psychological pressure, such methods work wonders. All right. Well, I see. It's inhumane. I order you to immediately cease these barbaric methods. Lord Captain, these methods may be brutal, but their effectiveness is proven over centuries of practice. No criminal will confess if you ask them politely. If you shatter their finger and courteously remind them how many unshattered bones they still have left in their body, that is a different conversation altogether. Like I said, you give them the brownies and you take away the milk. I'm iconoclast, Mikhail. That's the only way I could possibly play this game. There will be no other paths. I have faith that my master at arms is capable of finding other methods of seeking out the truth. Sourback's gloves creaks as she grips her maul. Her gaze remains cold and calm. As you command, Lord Captain. What do you propose we... Oh, do you have any working theories? The mutants are plotting. Lion spits in disgust. They've been breeding like void rats, so they're getting cocky. Must have wanted to infect your ladyship with their plague. Mikhail says, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's me. I'm not one of these people that can... Like, I would make a poor actor if I was in Hollywood. I'd be a really poor actor. I'd be the guy just like The Rock. Because every time The Rock is in a movie, he's just The Rock. He's just Dwayne Johnson. Like, why they even give him a character name, I don't know. Why don't they just do, like, the old days of casting John Wayne as John Wayne? It's Dwayne Johnson. You know, he doesn't have any range. He just plays himself. That would be me. I'd be incapable of doing anything else. It wasn't an attempt on the Lord Captain's life. It was a threat. The rabble are planning a revolt, so they're trying to terrorize us. Soon you will drown in blood. Insurgents pride themselves on such metaphors. Meanwhile, Captain Rotko is convinced that it was the work of Voitvir's surviving cultists. However, I believe this to be a warning rather than a threat. What we need to establish is who is trying to warn us, and of what. What do you propose we investigate first? The body. Once we have ascertained the dead man's identity, we'll be able to locate his associates and narrow down the number of suspects. Captain Klein is in charge of examining the corpse. Mikhail says, I only play Iconoclast as well. Heretical seems funny, though. Yeah. See, I appreciate that. This is a channel just for you, then. All of us Iconoclasts need to stick together. I thought it was interesting because I posted a question on Reddit because I had a question about some game mechanics, and the only person to really respond with a nice and helpful answer had Iconoclast as their tag. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I just remember that so much. That's the most indelible memory I have from my undergraduate years as a computer scientist. And this is way back in the early 90s, where we had a Unix room and a Linux room and a Windows room. And the Linux and Unix communities were just assholes. And if you asked them for help on anything, their answer every time was RTFM, read the fucking manual. And I found that so incredibly rude and unhelpful. Like, it pushed me into the Windows environment. I was like, I'm going to learn this instead. And that's why for years I had my own blog and I just tried to help everybody with everything, because knowledge should be shared, in my opinion, and people shouldn't be dicks about it. It really irritates me when people are dicks about stuff. It's just like somebody's asking a question, just answer. The body. Okay, so Mikhail says people seem to only go dogmatic in this game. This is a power fantasy for people that don't understand it's ironic and that it's a parody. It's the same kind of people who take Starship Troopers seriously. And they don't get it. It's the same kind of people that think Homelander from The Boys is the hero. So they play this game as dogmatic. It's their power fantasy. All right, last your ladyship, I'm done with my report. As soon as I'm ready, I'll deliver it to you. Then let's go. While we wait for Klein to report back, please enjoy the refreshments that I've prepared for you, Lord Captain. Refreshments? Are you trying to poison me? Which makes sense for the scene of 40K, yeah. Yes, exactly. Like I was saying the other day when I was streaming, this was my first exposure to Warhammer 40K. I had no idea what it was like. Nobody thinks Homelander is a hero, really? Wojtek says on Twitch. No, yes, dude, there's a whole segment of people who think Homelander is the good guy. And it's exactly who you would expect. It's the same people who venerate Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan. It's the same group of men. It's the same people. It should not surprise you, really. Which is just, I mean, it's predictable. And that's the thing. The actor who plays Homelander has had to go on social media and say, you guys are dumbasses. Homelander is the villain. But these are people that if this particular movement existed 40 years ago, they would think Darth Vader was the hero. It's just kind of hilarious. It's sad more than anything, but it's also hilarious that this is where male culture has gone to. Identifying the victim has proven impossible. His face has been smashed in and his body is badly maimed. There are too many wounds to determine the exact cause of death. Don't these guys have DNA? Well, if they did, the spirits of the machine would probably tell them the wrong answer. That was the part when I first started playing this game, knowing nothing about the Warhammer universe. And I'm like, wait a minute. Machine spirits and everything is religious. Like everything in this game is religious in nature. I was like, oh, okay. I got you. As the English would say, they're taking a piss. It's intentional. Okay. I got you. There are too many wounds. All right, so that's how they drained his blood. What? Presumably he died after the killer slit his throat. That's how they drained his blood. No external signs of mutation or front. Yeah, but he didn't have enough blood to fill that tub. I mean, come on. In other words, we have nothing. Klein, this isn't a report. It's a declaration of our incompetence before the Lord Captain. You will keep digging around inside that corpse until you have produced some results. Jinveri looks at Klein with sympathy. She clearly cares about him, but does not wish to trample on her comrade's honor with words of comfort. Hirotko regards Klein with a contemptuous smirk, while Klein scowls back at him. No external signs of mutation, you say? What about internal signs? Performing an autopsy was inadvisable due to the danger of contaminating the area with genetic aberration. Awareness test succeeded. You see a flash of genuine horror in Klein's eyes before his gaze turned. This is the part that cracks me up about this game. Is how they do the math for the chances. I understand why they do it. It is easier, but God, it just doesn't make sense on my brain. I hate it when I'm rolling a 98 against a 95 and it's a failure. But that almost makes sense when you consider that the game is built on irony. It's built to do everything backwards. So that kind of makes sense. You have seen that look before in the eyes of the other veterans. It's the expression of someone reliving painful memories that have left behind deep scars. They cannot hope to overcome such trauma on their own. They would need help, or a partner, or perhaps some strong emotional stimulus. I see. Coercion. Oh, it's a 100% chance. It would seem that I had an exaggerated opinion of this veteran's courage. He should get some rest. Let Hirotko take over his duties. Indeed. Klein, why don't you go take a break? Maybe it's time you consider asking for a transfer to a less demanding post. Your best years are behind you. You should make way for the younger generation. Klein's face turns a deep red. Shut your damn mouth, Hirotko. The things I've seen, the filth I've crushed. You want me to gut another one? You want to see its mutant blood on my hands? I'll show you blood. Well played, Lord Captain. It has been some time since I last saw this kind of fire in the old man's eyes. Well, that's my job. That's my job, is to push buttons. Oh, I had to laugh so hard. the other day when I was at the grocery store. I can't remember exactly how this conversation came up, but I think the cashier was asking the lady next to me to do something, and she's like, you need to press this button or whatever, and she's like, anyway, the joke ended up being that, you know, she couldn't get her buttons pressed, and I just said, you need to get a husband, because we know how to press buttons, don't we? I've examined the filth inside and out. Its innards are a genetic nightmare. It's a bag of corruption wrapped in human skin. Well, that can be used to describe several people on Capitol Hill. Extra organs, scales, atrophied, ingrown limbs. But that's not what's important. The body was disfigured posthumously. They killed the mutant with surgical precision before opening his throat and draining his blood. It wasn't until after the actual murder that they crushed his head and tried to cover up his wounds. The wounds were so brutal I almost missed his work tattoo. The victim was a pipe warden, and I found this in his throat. A certain legend springs to your mind, one involving Saint Quirine, who was granted a portent of enemies hiding among the faithful. When Quirine prayed to the emperor for a sign that might reveal the traitors, a raven's feather burst out of her mouth to inscribe the names of the conspirators. Only someone versed in the symbology of the Imperium could have left such a message. Well, for what purpose was the corpse mutilated? Obviously to hide who it was. They wanted to hide the cause of death. What I fail to understand is why they would leave the body out in the open instead of disposing of it. It's imperative that we find whoever mutilated this body. I concur. Would you like us to give us specific instructions, Lord Captain? I see. We need to find the weapon and the object that was used in mutilating the corpse. If it was such a special or unique item, that might help. However, if the criminal was using an industrially manufactured weapon or tool instead of a makeshift one, those are all the same. But we will conduct a thorough search, Lord Captain, and thank your ladyship for her wise counsel. What do pipe wardens have to do with anything? Pipe wardens are a worker clan that service the ship's sewer systems. The tattoo indicates the worker's status and personal number. This one was SP24601, Senior Pipe Warden. Remember Saint Quirine? This be a sign. Vile mutants do not make allusions to saints. This was someone versed in the creed. I see. Well, Klein, I wish to gift you a glass of emisic for your good work. You look like you need it. Klein accepts the glass and downs it instantly. Evidently, he is in no state to savor the bouquet and taste of the fine drink you had offered. Well, what's our next step? We should run the victim's identification number through the masterwork log cogitator. If its machine spirit favors us, we'll be able to narrow down the number of suspects. Well, it's a number. You would hope it would do that. You would hope it tell you exactly who they were, where they lived, what they were doing. All right, receive the report. Enforcer Ginevri. Allow me to introduce the esteemed tech priest Androvetafai. She believes she has the right to obstruct the investigation and refuse to grant the enforcer's access to the master cogitator. Tech priest lets out an indignant Ben Herrick trill. I request that the laywoman's willful activities be halted. She intends to torment the machine spirit of the master work log cogitator Iota 3B. The venerable spirit is ill and in no disposition to endure such abuse. What is the problem with the machine spirit? The spirit is old and quick to anger. This therefore calls for a sensitive approach, not a torturous intrusion by a brutish laywoman. Since the start of this watch, the spirit has been unwell. We have been trying to soothe its woes by applying sacred unguents and sensing the great machine's boards. The dogma of data recuperative quarantine prohibits any disturbances to blessed machines found to be in such a state. What exactly does this data recuperative dogma prescribe? That no profane hand touch the sacred machine stricken. Let the mechanism be shielded from all worldly troubles by a veil of righteous litany. And let its shrine be thricely honored, for the malady is no more. It's funny because in this game, every single machine is basically a printer. It has to be coddled, and we have to say magic rites. And then please, please, dear God, print me the paper. Please work. This is the number one thing that has blown me away about technology. It's the year 2025, and we still can't make printers work. Like, I don't even own one anymore, because if I want to print something out, I'm just going to go down to Kinko's and have them do it. Because owning your own printer is an exercise in frustration and futility, and it's a money sink in ink. Like, it's a complete racket for ink. Like, I'd rather just bleed myself to fill up the ink. I'm always going to be printing in red. I'm just going to use my own plasma. Printers are evil, Wojtek says. Yeah, Number one evil, yeah. Let no profane hand. Okay, well, judging by Genvary's expression, she would rather have her profane hands touch Androvita thighs, Nick. I like that. Pascal, how profane would you say your hands are? I am Magos Explorator, and this vessel's engine Seer Prime. The profanity of this unit's hands, as well as the rest of its limbs, organs, and augments, is null. Good answer. If the honored Magos supervises the laywoman's tactful interaction with the spirit, I will sanction this disturbance. Please do. Tech Priest Androvetify, raising her hands high, Androvetify wails, Messiah, preserve us. The Great Spirit was infected by a layperson. That is the culprit you should be searching for, not some pipe warden. Sacrilege. Registering a Category 3 act of sacrilege resulting in the Category Epsilon Quadro Transgressive Scenario. Requesting the inclusion of the offender in the Registry of Wanted Entities for the purpose of expiative disposal. We have discovered that the cogitator's malfunctions began after an unauthorized attempt to access it was made. Someone deliberately angered the machine spirit in order to bury the work logs. Thankfully, the esteemed tech priest was able to appease the spirit and extract the information we need. The victim's name was Orto. On the day he died, he was servicing Valve 27B. I'm just going to call my Valve that from now on. Would you please service Valve 27B? Which supplies water to the rogue trader's bath chamber. He also had a partner who was yet to appear for duty since the incident occurred. We have a suspect. Who's the partner? Senior Pipe Warden Gwendon, number SP26855, an 8th generation pipe warden. No registered infractions, excellent discipline, perfect work record, an exemplary servant of the Imperium. Did the murderer get to the cogitator too? Impossible. Since the start of Watch, this area has been used as a center of operations. No rabble could have slipped by unnoticed. Moreover, a common pipe warden wouldn't know how to commune with a machine spirit. The murderer had help. Master at Arms, how do you propose we find our new suspect? Your ladyship, there was a man named Gwendon among the rabble waiting to be interrogated. He immediately struck me as suspicious. Please allow me to question the man in your presence. Bring him in now. Well, is somebody going to want to get a little cranky here? Senior Pipe Warden Guedon. Before you stands a gaunt man in work clothes. His face is swollen from bruises and several of his fingers are broken and sticking out at odd angles. He stares vacantly in the distance with watery eyes. Start talking, you miserable wretch. You tried to kill the Lord Captain, didn't you? Herotgo grabs the worker by the lapels. Guidon's coat flies open, revealing crude occult symbols painted all over his body. What's this? Heretical brands. Cultist scum. Guidon yells, baring what remains of his teeth. Yes, it was me. I tried to put a curse on the Lord Captain. I killed my partner in a wicked ritual, rubbed elbows with them demons, consorted with them, all to carry out a dark plot and doom the Lord Captain for the glory of my almighty master. He bursts into a fit of hysterical, theatrical cackling. His words, he's trying to paint them over with fake garish hues, but his abject terror carries with it too much black and gray. What does he hope to accomplish with this? He has admitted to everything, the vermin. I have insisted time and again that the assassination attempt was carried out by one of Voigtver's surviving henchmen. And I was right. I guess we weren't so thorough in clearing them out as we thought. Rotko cast a sharp look at Sauerbach. Assessed the enforcer's reaction to the confession. Rotko looks proud and self-important. Ginevri is biting her nail as if hesitant to say anything. Sauerbach is observing the worker in silence, apparently sunk deep in thought. Meanwhile, Klein merely stands with a distrustful grimace on his face. Other than Rotko, no one here seems to believe that you are looking at the real culprit. I see. Well, what are my options here? Why has he been beaten? I ordered that the beatings be stopped. My apologies, your ladyship. This one was interrogated before your order was given. I will take responsibility for not anticipating it. Does the Master-at-Arms not find it strange that the suspect is so eager to paint himself as a heretic? And in such a preposterous fashion, no less. I agree, Lord Captain. Sauerbach growls at the worker. I want the truth. Who are you? And who told you to give us this pathetic confession? The man blanches and starts bawling. He gives up on his sinister theatrics and babbles in the voice of a common worker. Forgive me, your ladyship. I'm not Gwydon, and I'm not a heretic. Yart's me name. I'm a laundryman. Please have mercy. They took my family. An enforcer said she'd throw them out the airlock if I don't confess. She made me draw these unholy marks on myself. Abelard casts a significant glance in Sauerbach's direction. Your enforcers have a knack for persuasion, Mistress Sauerbach, but this is ridiculous. Rotko, what enforcer? Name! Give me her name! Ginevri. Her name was Ginevri. What? I swear that I have not. Ginevri? The steely edge in Sauerbach's voice causes everyone present to freeze, but you also hear a note of bewilderment. We will deal with her later. I will handle the search for Gwydon myself. Lord Captain, would you have us execute this demon worshipper? Execute? Truly no word sounds sweeter to this monkey's ears. Spare the man. Wash off those heretical symbols. Let him rejoin his family. Will be done. There is no cause for alarm, Lord Captain. This conspirator may have been fake, but now it is only a matter of time before we find the real culprit. We have the pipe wardens' names and the identification numbers, and we know which clan they're from. We will keep pressing the riffraff until either the culprit confesses or someone turns him in. I will handle this. The Master-at-Arms pointedly grips the maul on her belt. Please enjoy your meal in the interim, Lord Captain. The scoundrel will appear before us soon enough. We'll see about that. Conclude the investigation in the mess hall and the officer's deck. Lord Captain, the real pipe warden Gwydon has been found and is being escorted here as we speak. Are there any remaining questions you wish to address before we hear from Gwydon himself? You can restart by reporting on the results of the additional investigation efforts. Absolutely, Lord Captain. We have thoroughly questioned all detainees known to have a violent temper and compared the tools and weapons we seized with the wounds found on the corpse, but have not been able to establish who was responsible for the mutilation. I take full responsibility for this failure. This concludes my report. Someone attempted to mislead our investigation. We cannot let this go without consequences. Undoubtedly, let us go over the facts we have on this sabotage and compile them. The body of the deceased was mutilated after death. It is likely that the nature of the injuries would have proven very useful in the investigation, and that the perpetrator concealed them for that very reason. Someone sabotaged the work log cogitator, so it would be harder for us to find the victim's partner, who might have information valuable to the investigation. And instead of the murderer's man's partner, we were given a fool, one who thoroughly incriminated himself first before admitting that Captain Ginevri had put him up to it. Sauerbach glowers at Ginevri, and she pales with fear. Who was guarding the body? It was Ginevri. Klein reluctantly nods at his fellow enforcer. I relieved her when I came to inspect the corpse, which by then had already been cut up. Ginevri nervously adjusts her armor under Sauerbach's piercing gaze. The corpse was already looking like that when it came under my purview, but I could not get the name of the officer who discovered it. The deck was such a mess that I decided I would deal with it later. Who had access to the work log cogitator? The tech priest did not let anyone near the cogitator. They even tried to prevent the enforcer's investigation. Ginevra, were you there the entire time? Yes, ma'am, since the start of the watch. I went there right after I handed the body over to Klein. The only time I stepped away was to retrieve the data slate from my quarters. I left a watchman, but he went missing. Most likely one of the officers did not realize he was on duty and sent him off on some errand, but I was only gone for a few minutes. Very convenient, Rodko says. A missing sentry, a data slate misplaced against regulations. Rodko drums his fingers on a holster on his belt where his own data slate sits tightly nestled. I don't understand how I could have forgotten it. I always check my gear when I go on duty. I see. Suspect Yart claims that you coerced him into lying about himself, Ginevra. What do you have to say for yourself? I may have conducted his preliminary interrogation like so many others. Horotko requested my assistance because of my experience in dealing with the rabble, but I swear that there is no truth to these accusations against me. I have never threatened his family, and I certainly did not force him to lie and draw heretical signs. I barely even remember his face. I may have interrogated him beforehand, but it was someone else who put him up to this. The transcript says you conducted Yart's interrogation alone. Why is that? Because I can handle a single laundryman? Ginevra raises her chin proudly. I cannot decide. Sauerback, you can handle this yourself. Leave it to me. I will not rest until I get a confession. A real confession. In the meantime, let us get back to the assassination attempt. It all seems a little convenient, doesn't it? The pipe warden does his best to remain reverentially bowed, which paints a rather comical picture given his formidable height and complexion. He lowers his head, tugging at his beard. Senior Pipe Warden Guidon, honored to serve, Lord Captain. I'm ready to confess to everything. You are the real Pipe Warden Guidon, are you not? I am, and I'm proud of it, Lord Captain. A Pipe Warden's craft is hard work, but necessary. My number is SP-268-55. My work partner was the late Orto, number SP-24601. I oversee the water supply systems on the upper decks, sectors A3, K8, and R2. That includes Valve 27B. There can be no mistake. I have verified his identity myself. It has also been confirmed by the other workers. Why did you fill my bath with blood? I did as the servant of death commanded. She said the Emperor gave the first spinner a sign that your ladyship should be bathed in the blood of poor Orto, my partner. And I was scared, so I obeyed. The first spinner? Are you talking about the visor of the blood-spun web? Yes, that's him. He leads the death cultists, the lot who worship the Emperor by killing. His spinners hunt down heretics. Sometimes they take righteous lives too. Their service is mysterious, fervent, and bloody. If the visor ordered it, there must have been a reason. The undying ones must have revealed something to him that we are ignorant of. Did you kill your mutant partner? I didn't kill him, and I didn't know he was a mutant. Orto and I always got along, even if he wasn't much for talking. But then he shudders. A servant of death came from the darkness, ended him quickly but harshly. She bled him dry and put a black feather in his throat. She told me to pump blood into the pipes, and then she left. I wanted to confess, but I was afraid she'd come for me if I did. Whom do you mean by this servant of death? A holy slayer in black and crimson and bone, feared by all. They are quiet, merciless. They are quiet, merciless, and death itself. They come from the shadows to kill because the Emperor commands them so. You have already met the servants of the Bloodspun Web, Lord Captain. Their grim procession is not one the upper decks will soon forget. Summon the visor of the Bloodspun Web. I wish to hear his explanation. As you will, Lord Captain. Senior Pipe Warden Guidon says, Your Ladyship, if I may ask, What happens to me now? I never meant to anger you. I thought I was doing as the Emperor willed it, but here we are. I'm a simple man. I know pipes. I know them a lot better than all this people business. My eyes aren't what they used to be, but I can still smell rust and metal, though not so much in people's thoughts. Well, you were deceived into becoming an accomplice. Oh, I like this one. You act as a true servant of the Emperor would. We'll have you provided with the best ocular implant for your work. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, your ladyship. I'll serve you faithfully, and I'll never forget your mercy. Visor of the blood-spun web. Treads lightly and silently as if his old gaunt body has no weight at all. He whispers weakly, Domin Pandora willed to see me, and so I have come. I have summoned you to discuss the actions of your apprentices. Let their deeds be weighed. Investigation has established that the blood-spun web orchestrates an attack on her ladyship by means of pouring unholy blood into her bath. This affront... Domin Pandora knows the truth. So it was done, for so I did will. I was no affront, but a prophecy. For my hands to divine, unsullied martyrs offered their souls and bodies into his imperishable embrace. I gazed into the red rivers of their smoldering lives, and I did see a roiling, unclean staining the bays, reaching for the anointed lady of the ark. In my apprentice's last sighs, I heard the undying ones whisper, He bid me bathe the Domin in the blood of he who must go, and they have been righteous, for this will shield the Domin and strengthen her body against the roiling unclean. I obeyed. You're really loud with this music, man. Come on. Like, this is just... You're killing me here, Smalls. Really going at it. Do you claim that you did it because the God Emperor willed so? I speak, move, and draw breath because he wills so. I defy not the undying one, neither his death or gifts. But, oh man, I gotta get this right. This is driving me nuts, and now it's too little. Let's try that. 55. I can't drive. 55. Sammy Hagar. Well, I see. Could your vision have been false? I held the cards of his tarot, washed in the blood of his righteous. They make no mistakes, and neither does he send false visions. Only mortals err. They who read the signs, they who interpret. Okay, if you say so. The man you killed, who was he? I know not. I heard only the name, and I knew he must go. He listens to the empty space above his shoulder and nods. Yes, we need no more knowledge than that. I see. Master-at-Arms, are you convinced that we have found the culprits? Situation is clear, your ladyship. The Emperor has sent us a portent. Protector of mankind guides the hands of his holy servants to guard us and warn us of hidden threats. This monkey has drawn attention to the mutant in a way that could not be ignored. A shrewd tactic, if the threat is indeed as great as he believes. The cult of the blood-spun web will face no persecution for their deed. Yes, I will tell her. The visor freezes, listening to silence, then nods to nothing. He turns his sewn-shut eyes to you once more. We are seeds in your hands, giver of life. Whether you keep us or scatter us, we will remain grateful. Be that as it may, Sourback says, we have hit a dead end. We hoped that exposing the culprits would lead us to the aberration's lair. Well, Sourback, let's see. Let the blood-spun web find the mutants breeding on my ship. But no spinner or brave warrior from the Domin Circle can find the roots of the unclean, for it can appear as human and act as human. Only its thoughts betray its vile nature. Only its thoughts are never human. Wise, anxious silence falls the moment Sourback says this one word. She narrows her eyes. It is unclean thoughts we need to find? Very well. Let Wise find them. He knows how, no matter how badly he wishes that the rest of us forgot about it. Oh, Veni Zachary is a fearsome hunter, and when he hunts, the flagship wails. When he thinks, my teeth creak and I can feel pain as if I'm young again. His power is great indeed. He can hunt down our prey. I see. The choir master of astropaths. Well. I already have a psyker in my retinue. Adira can perform the ritual. The visor listens intently, not to the words of anyone present, but rather to someone invisible and inaudible. I hear you, yes. The witch is weak. Death whispers of many names that it will claim if she is allowed. Names those whose time to be erased is not now. I see. Well, correct me if I am wrong, but it seems that not everyone here is eager to leave this matter to Master Wise. I would say the one least eager will be Master Wise himself. Last time his efforts caused some severe warp manifestations. The ritual is truly perilous. Not to put too fine a point on it, Wise nearly destroyed the ship back then. Incidentally, he has given us multiple warnings that it could happen. Lady Theodora ignored him, and we reaped the results. Oh, why do I get the feeling that I know what will happen next? I see. Well, that is all. Master at Arms, your duty is done. I give you leave to wrap up the investigation on the officer's deck. My duty will be done when the threat is eliminated. I will brief the enforcers while you consult Choir Master Wise. Okay, so the Choir Master's going to perform some kind of unholy ritual? What? Some kind of warp ritual? Let's go find these culprits. Let's go find these culprits before lunchtime. Because I'm going to be hungry here pretty soon. The donuts can only hold for so long. Oh, and wait. It made it sound like we leveled up, but we didn't level up. Talk to Choir Master Wise. Where is Choir Master Wise? He's one of these. It's got to be, right? No? Okay. Are you kidding me? Heinrichs. Alright, where's Choir Master Wise? Choir Master Wise is a powerful telepath who can track down the conspirators by following the dark traces of their traitorous thoughts. Lord Captain could find him at the Astropathic Chapel. The Astropathic Chapel? Well then, so we will go there. The Astropathic Chapel. And I got you. Oh, everybody did level up. Okay, cool. Well, we should probably level some people then. Okay, let's run through this really quick then. We got the master Excel spreadsheet here. Except for my rogue trader, where I'm figuring things out on my own with her. Let's see what she's got. Exemplar. Okay, what are her options here? Armor of Contempt. Oh, what is that? Whenever the ally is affected by an officer's... No. What's it? Grants temporary wounds. That ally's armor is increased by 10% for 1 round. For 1 round. Does not stack. Okay. Whenever the officer uses voice of command to bring it down the first time in combat, the ability costs -1. What else are our options? Wounds are no excuse. Get back in the fight removes 1 fresh injury from the target and heals the target for 2 wounds for each effect removed by get back in the fight, including fresh injuries. A minimum of 2 wounds is always healed, even if no effects are removed. That might be worth it. Officer gains +10 willpower and 10 fellowship when they have less than 50% of maximum wounds. They also gain additional after using an officer ability on a target with less. I kind of like that one. Seize the initiative. The officer and allies with the voice of command effect deal an additional 22 damage to enemies that have not yet acted in this combat. Yeah, but then they're going to act one time and you're going to miss the 22%, so... That really only works for Cassia on the first turn. Personal oversight, no respite. March. Officer also gains. I don't care, but I generally don't want her to move. Allies affected by the officer's abilities gain a bonus to all resistance tests equal to 8. Air of Authority immediately grants momentum to the target equal to the target's resolve. Whenever the officer targets an ally with an ability the first time in a round, that ally gains 4 temporary wounds. Okay, I would take that one too. I would take Inspire courage. Whenever the officer uses an ability on an ally, that ally gains a bonus to their perception and ballistic skill equal to 8. These bonuses stack, but half the stacks are lost at the end of the target's turn. Since I'm frequently boosting the elven rogue there, the elven shooter, what is her name? Urlet. That wouldn't be too bad, because they would stay, these bonuses stack, but half of the stacks are lost at the end of the turn. Kind of like that one. Kind of want to get this though. Get back in the fight. Okay. Get back in the fight. I thought I already had that though. Oh, I guess not. Okay. And then what she got? Persuasion is maxed out, so let's go with coercion for her. Okay, that one's easy. Abelard. What do you got? Where are you at here? What was the last thing we did for you? You got AP increase. So disarm and carouse. Doink. Doink. And then for Cassia, where is she at? Right here. Oh, this is where it gets interesting because I don't have a full build for her either. What do we have? She's got all of those taken, which is good. Armor of Contempt. Whenever an ally is affected by the officer's abilities, that's the thing. She doesn't use that on stuff. Steel Resolve. Her resolve is increased by 3. We'll take that. Whenever an ally starts a turn adjacent to the officer, that ally gains an additional 4. An additional 4 movement points. Okay, I'm going to grab a resolve, but I want that later. Personal oversight. So this is what? It's called Steel Resolve. Okay. Gotta write that down. Because the other choice is, let's see, Heroism and Leader's Assault. What heroism is, whenever a heroic act is used in combat by any character, the officer's next attack will cost 0 AP. Oh. That could be really useful. Yeah, that's why I wrote it down. And then what? Leader's Assault, which I already have. Okay. Alright, we're messing with the Excel spreadsheet here. So we grabbed Leader's Assault at some point in time. Yes, we're gonna grab Heroism. And then hers is Lore Warp, and what else? She's got Max Awareness. Okay. Pascal, my friend, what do you got? Bunch of choices here. Addiction protocols. Pascal gains 22 dodge reduction and parry reduction with melee weapons. He never uses his melee weapon. He's got a healing mechadendrite. Ballistic calculation. If he attacks a target affected by an exploit from a distance of 8 cells or further, that attack deals 15 damage. That can happen, I think. How long's his weapon? The one he normally uses is this. What's its distance? Range of 10. That's not going to happen for him very often. Tide of Excellence. Triggers an exploit that gains 1 damage and 2 armor penetration until the end of combat. Only applies to the first strike of a projectile whenever the operative triggers an exploit. So over the course of a long battle, that might stack enough for 10%. Snapper expertise. Perfect spot additionally grants the operative 12 armor penetration against enemies that are sub and sub wave. Okay. If he has not moved this turn, they deal 3 more damage with single shot attacks for every 5 cells between them and the target, and gains 7 ballistic skill. These bonuses do not stack and last until the operative. I want that. I'm gonna grab Sharpshooter for him. He's got tech use, and then he needs logic. Roulette. Combat Insight. The officer's perception bonus is 10 or higher. They gain 1 AP and ignore enemies' deflection. Where is her perception bonus? I have notes about this. Perception bonus now is 9. Oh my gosh. She's got 1 more to go before we can get that. Okay. 1 more to go. Weak body, weak soul. Exposed weakness also reduces the enemy's toughness and willpower by 9 for 1 round. Okay. Terrifying presence. If intimidation kills the target, the damage of all other enemies in the area of intimidation is reduced. Reactive study. If an enemy affected by an exploit within 5 cells from the operative attacks the operative or their ally, the enemy suffers +1 additional exploit. Okay. Well, let's see. Offensive pattern prediction. Operative suffers 8 less damage from enemies affected by exploits. That's kind of useful. Although I generally don't like her to get shot at. The operative's allies gain hit chance, critical chance while attacking targets affected by exploits. It's +1. What is this? Int bonus. That's why it's so low. Okay. Exposed weakness cost 0. I kind of need that one. It uses precise attack on a target affected by 7 or more exploits and scores a hit. That hit becomes a critical hit. Oh, I want that. Informed hit. Okay. And then what have I been using for her? Ballistics, persuasion, what? Oh yeah, lore, Xenos, but she's got that maxed out. What's her other choice that we've been taking for her? Gotta check on the spreadsheet. She takes awareness. Okay. All right, and then you, what's your build look like? So go over here, get the build. Right there. All right. It takes 2. That's what we need for her. It takes 2. All the strikes made as part of a blade dance are directed at the same target. The last strike deals double damage. That's nice. And then demolition, baby. Okay. Those guys are done. Let's go see what kind of trouble we can get into. Shall we? Where is this cogitator dude? Right here. Zachary Wise. Choirmaster Wise turns to you long before you reach him. A chill runs down your spine as if someone were watching you from inside your own being. You summon your will and drive out the unpleasant sensation. Choirmaster smiles sadly. You shroud your mind well, your ladyship, and yet I can guess why you have come. With all due respect, I'm asking you to reconsider. What was the willpower test? Oh, wow. Against a 55. Miracle. Reconsider what? I've not asked my question yet. You feel a strange anxiety as the old man's burnt-out eyes seem to probe your inner self. Your intentions are fairly easy for me to infer. You were looking for mutineers, and the only reason you would come to your choir master is to order me to turn to the warp for answers. Your predecessor came to me with the same orders once. Nothing good came of it. Please believe me, Lord Captain, when I say a mountain of corpses was the least of the problems we faced that time. So you say you have performed the ritual before for Theodora? Many years ago. There was a time when Lady Theodora had become anxious. Perhaps the Lord Inquisitor's interest in her affairs adversely affected her, shall we say, trust in her own subjects. She was expecting a betrayal, and eventually her paranoia brought her to me. I performed the ritual, but the choir ceased to exist. I remember that day, Lord Captain. When we arrived at the chapel, there was blood and human remains everywhere. But that was the least of the terrifying things we saw. The Assyriani spend decades tempering their spirits before touching the veil. You lack the gift of time, yet seek to harness powers that are only too pleased with your ignorance. What is the nature of this ritual? It takes the entire choir's power to invade such a prodigious number of minds at once. I weave their voices into a chord and steer it into the murky sea of other people's souls. Together, we read tens of thousands of thoughts, emotions, and intents, looking for the thing we are after, the seed of corruption you are interested in. Oh, really, Dr. Xavier? Please do enlighten me some more. Why are you so worried about the ritual? Lord Captain, do you know that the proverb about staring too long into the abyss? What you are asking for is tantamount to plunging the entire choir into that abyss. A ritual like that will require incredible focus from each of the participants. It will take a single careless thought, a single glance in the wrong direction, or the way back to be lost. Human minds fusing into one another, vitrified organs inside still living bodies, perverse fantasies manifesting in the flesh. Sounds like a good time. Nothing will stop the horrors of the warp from spreading all over the ship in the blink of an eye. And even if I agreed it would be impossible, we need a second powerful telepath as a defender to shield my mind. Last time, my best apprentice, Adeline, did that. She is no longer with us. She was exceptionally talented, rivaling even myself. And now I know of only one psyker in the entire expanse who is her equal, but he is bound to the service of one of House Winterscale's planetary governors, and thus unavailable to us, which makes your dangerous enterprise an impossibility. I see. That is the harsh truth. The harsh truth, your ladyship. It must not be done. We can find a psyker who will help you perform the rituals. And who is it? You mentioned knowing a powerful psyker employed by the Winterscales. Who is he? Master Hattermon is a seasoned telepath, but his lord would never part with such an incredibly valuable specialist. A sizable amount of money will be necessary to organize Master Hattermon's escape. I will hire professionals to set up his escape. Send a message to whoever ought to know. As you please. Master Hattermon will welcome the news of his forthcoming release. His present lord is quite unpleasant. I will report back once Master Hattermon has been brought aboard. Yeah, I'd like to free someone from Winterscale's a jerk, so we don't mind taking one off of him. The Void Shipbridge. Need to go see what the rest of my kingdom is doing here. Pandora's box, baby. Oh, please, load times. You can do it. Thomas the Train says you can do it. Alright. Next. So, what are we doing? We're just wait? Okay. Void Ship Bridge. Okay, so now we can go do this next thing. Good. We can get some action here that doesn't involve me talking for an hour. So we're here and we need to go to System Speculo. Okay. Let's go here and see what kind of fun we can have. Well. What do we have going on here? Let's see our planets. Lord Captain, the situation on Foulstone requires your attention. One of the servants tasked with the Crucible's maintenance has declared publicly that he has been liberated of all worldly concerns, for he is none other than the reincarnation of Saint Cognatius. There are some extremely questionable reports claiming that he has performed miracles. Supported by a congregation garnered by preaching, he has asked for your ladyship's permission to depart from Foulstone with the Crucible in tow, so that he may continue Saint Cognatius' work and use the relic to transform worlds, ones true to the faith of the Imperium, into lush, splendorous gardens. It goes without saying that such a generous gift to the Kronos Expanse could bring great renown to your ladyship, but at a heavy cost. Foulstone would turn back into a wasteland, and you would lose the prestige that comes with having charge over such a valuable relic. What do we know about this so-called Saint Cognatius reincarnate? Tiber Heike, a technomat from Footfall. He now prefers to be called Brother Pure Voice, an unremarkable commoner with no family, gaunt, unkempt, covered in scabs from working the Crucible. He became obsessed with it from the day it was discovered. He never left his maintenance post, never rested, barely ever slept, fasting and living off stimulants and condensate from the relic's cooling circuit. Then he started having revelations and eventually saw the truth, or he went completely insane. His sermons are directed at commoners, appealing to them for humility and mercy. He often speaks about his former life as a saint, and many of these tales match known legends about Saint Cognatius. No, Anarchical pronunciations or radical deviations from the creed have been found in his words. Yet, wish to hear the opinions of my advisors. I have had ample experience with saintly saviors like him in the past. Whatever great cause they proclaim as their mission, they genuinely, naively believe that people really do need them. If we round up enough orphans and lepers who would trip over themselves to beg our prophet for salvation, he will soon forget all about the crucial in his holy mission. I know a few guilds of professional beggars who would be delighted to offer their services to us. False prophets in the streets are a common occurrence. Their sermons breed turmoil, riots, acts of disobedience. The Inquisition recommends that such unstable agents be isolated and quietly removed. The arch-enemy's lies take on many guises. The Emperor's miracles are 100-fold stronger. On more than a few occasions, he has bestowed epiphanies upon the faithful, even those of the humblest origin. I myself bear the name of a poor orphan who was granted miraculous powers by his grace. So give me time, and I will find you the most loyal agents to escort Brother Pure Voice on his travels. They will keep him safe if he is pure, or punish him should they sense deceit in his words. But I have a feeling that his rebirth is a true wonder. The Undying One does not release the souls that have come to him. This man is either lying or misguided. An experienced spinner will help him see the truth or repent the deception. Oh, I see. Well. Jai, I like her solution. See to it that a delegation of doleful wretches keeps our Saint Cognatius distracted. Gladly, Shireen. Manipulating blessed simpletons is the easiest thing in the world. There is nothing they crave more than to feel needed. The pure-voiced prophet was mobbed by an entourage of professional beggars and cripples. Upon seeing how many people need him on Foulstone, the saint reincarnate gave up on his ambitions of spreading the faith to new worlds. He vowed not to leave the planet for as long as there remained even a single soul in need of his help. He only left Foulstone once. Bless the Lord Captain's ship. Counsel her to carry on St. Cognatius' holy cause. Reliquary. Okay, profit factor, we got this. The Piety's Charge. All collisions caused by the Thunderhammer's pushing attacks deal 300 more damage. All targets hit by the Thunderhammer must pass an agility resistance test with a 10% bonus. Okay, that's interesting. For a second, what are you using, bud? Date from newest to oldest. You're using this thing, the Earthbreaker, but this looks like, yeah, it's a little bit of an upgrade there. That each attack with this weapon decreases the target's agility, toughness, and strength by 4, even when parried or dodged. That's the thing I liked about that. But this does 300 more damage. So, dude, you got a bigger hammer now. Congrats. Okay. What are we looking at then for next projects on this place? Missionaries. Provisions gives us complacency and security, and Lightbringers gives us, Imperial Navy will like us more. We'll do that. Janus, the Lost, and we get this. The Fang of Perdition, the wearer gains plus 15 coercion and plus 15 lore Xenos. Lore Xenos. Tears of Repentance. Payment in organs. Profit factor up. Complacency down. Efficiency up. People. Okay, I could use more profit factor since we spent a little bit of that before. Let's do that. Payment in organs. Sounds nasty. Over here, praising the muses. Plasteel and adamantium for profit factor. Make it happen. Lord Captain, Vibos 6 begs for help. Something terrible prowls the planet, searching for a way to wipe out the planet's inhabitants. Victims died in small groups at first, so they dismissed it as simple accidents. A poisoning, a crashed transport, a fire. The death toll has started to rise, and explaining everything as mere coincidence is no longer an option. The enemy appears to be testing out different methods of killing your subjects, like it's looking for the most efficient way to murder as many of them as once as possible. Our pick traps sometimes catch sight of a blurry dark shadow walking among the people, but No one has actually seen it with their own eyes. I see. Well, what kind of accidents are happening there? Various sorts of mechanical failures, ventilation systems emitting substances that have no business being there, auspexes registering spikes of radiation, maintenance systems shutting down for no apparent reason. It all resembles extermination experiments with your servants playing the role of test subject. I see. Well, place all mining complexes on high alert. Stay vigilant. Sooner or later we will spot it. Well, anybody got any ideas? The art of hunting relies on the art of hiding. Cannot see your target, then make it so the target cannot see you. Deceive its senses and seize your advantage. A predator walks among your people. Well, then it's time we became predators ourselves. Your servants can't see it and don't know where its lair lies, but I will tell you how to find it. You need to spark the beast's curiosity. Leave something it craves out in the open and mark it so that you can track the beast as it's carrying the bait away in its jaws. That is how we hunt cunning prey on Fenris. You call it your enemy, but you are mere pests in its eyes. This isn't war, this is extermination. You are a nuisance, and that is your asset. Understand what it is you do that vexes it so much, and you will understand how to drive it mad. All that will be left, then, is to lay a trap. I see. Our demolition is a 90%. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Marazar is right. Set a series of traps and provoke it to attack. Demolition test succeeded. We rolled a 7. Oh, nice. I believe in you. Being irritating comes naturally to Monkey. He doesn't see the irony in that, does he? Assuming that the creature had been angered by mining efforts, the overseers increased work shifts in remote sectors. The assumption proved to be correct. The beast came to destroy those who had disturbed its rest and walked right into the traps laid out for it. Wounded, it fled. Cornered in its den, the monster fought its final battle and was slain. It was a terrifying Xenos with a metallic skeletal body and a single emerald eye. Its lair turned out to be a crypt-like chamber, and beneath it was an entire fortress buried in stone. The walls were covered in glyphs similar to the mysterious patterns that the mad convicts had drawing. The chamber also contained the dissected remains of the missing miners. The omniscience servant studied the bodies, the crypt, and the Xenos corpses, hypothesizing that the inhuman belonged to a caste of sages among its kind. It had remained in stasis for ages, untold, but had recently been awakened either by the mining efforts or the explosion caused by the Drukhari invaders. After killing everyone who had approached its lair, the creature tried to wake its brethren, but millennia of tectonic shifts had crushed the underground fortress. The creature was alone. We get the ancient Xeno mechanism. Whenever the wearer ends their turn, they deal 15 energy damage, with armor penetration equal to the wearer's int, to all adjacent creatures. If the number of damaged creatures exceeds 3, the wearer suffers the staggered effect, so you don't want it to be around a lot of critters. Ancient Xeno mechanism. The fearsome insects, the ones that assailed the colony, were the only 2 the Xenos had left, so it chose to lie in wait. But when the heretics of the Final Dawn sabotaged the fortress's reactor in their attempts to destroy the planet, the Xenos grew restless and started searching for a way to exterminate the humans. Now the last Xeno survivor was dead, and so was its entire race. Or at least, so prayed every denizen of Vibo 6. Those kinds of missions, I mean, it's nice to have the story time and stuff like that, but God, they sound like they'd be so much fun to actually go do. But of course, I understand, you can only build so much content for a video game, and this thing already has like 100 hours plus worth of content. So, Lair in the Void blocks Holy Servitude, which is already blocked because we did... Oh, Extractic Metallic. Oh, I see. These are mutually exclusive, all 3 of these. So we get Iron-Eyed Grenades. Creatures caught in the crust of grenade blasts suffer their current armor divided by 2 armor decrease. Armor decrease? Okay, hold on. This gives us the Explorers and a Mobile Extracticum, but... And what's this Holy Servitude? This gives us Vigilance, a marvelous compact weapon in the form of a ring that allows the wearer to fire a melted scorching shot once per combat. Who cares about that? This, though, Iron Eye Grenade. Creatures caught in the corrosive grenade blast suffer their current armor. So let's say their armor is like 60. Divided by 2 is 30. 30% armor decrease. Dude, I'm taking that. I could use armor decreases. Oh, man. Yes. Let's grab that. I mean, Extractium Metallica. Do we Extractium Metallica or we just jam that shit out, man? Enter Sandman. Explorators. I would like to have the 5,000 points there, but I'd much rather have those grenades. Those would be great. A mechanical trade, and now we got this. The Memory of Daring provides 125 points of protection for each sector. Oh, great. So we got a ship upgrade. Fantastic. I've been waiting for something like that. Okay, so this is going to be shields. Yes. 125 points of protection for each sector. The amount is doubled against enemy kinetic attacks. Thank you. Jesus. Okay. And so if we go here, the person who we would want to use that thing potentially is him. He's got grants the wearer int bonus to dodge to the wearer and their allies. Okay. So their int bonus divided by dodge. Their int bonus is 7 divided by their dodge, which is 54. What is that? What is 7 divided by 54? Let's find out. It's 0.129. Doesn't make any sense. Someone explain that to me. Plus wearer's int bonus divided by percentage. Plus wearer's int bonus percentage. Oh, never mind. It's not divided by its percentage dodge. The int bonus, so it grants everybody a 9% dodge to the wearer and their allies. Versus this, which is whenever the wearer ends their turn, they deal energy damage with armor penetration equal to their int, which would be 9 to all adjacent creatures. I generally try to keep him out of trouble, so I want to keep the dodge bonus to everybody else. That would be better. Math. Vortex like math, and then the frowny face. Yeah, exactly. Math. You know, whenever I go to a restaurant and I'm tipping people, and I always tip, I'm a good tipper. You should tip your service people. They work too hard. I always do the math in my head so I can come up with an even number. So like, you know, if dinner is like $54.13, then I'm immediately doing, okay, I need 87 cents to get to $55 and then 10 on top of that to get to 65. And I just always do that in my head because I think math is one of those things you always need to be practicing. But the way that is drawn out there, because I'm so used to seeing the percent symbol as a way to divide in formulas, I'm automatically thinking, okay, it's 9 divided by 54. Wait, what? Why would it be that? It wouldn't. Okay. Yeah, but I suck at math, which is just not something that typically happens to people like me. Points of interest: the augur's anomaly. And what's this? Explorator's flotilla. Your ladyship, hailing the ship surrounding the Hermeticos wreck, led to the receiving the following transmission. We are the Cognizance Fleet. We praise the Messiah of discontinuing. We remain in prayer. We remain on standby. Let the cycle be discontinued. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. We are the Cognizance Fleet. We praise the Messiah of discontinuing. Pascal, it looks like a gathering of believers of discontinuing the cycle. Confirmed. The number of adherents of discontinuing the cycle does not correspond with the earlier prognosis. The willingness to declare one's commitment to the teachings of the blessed Amarnet is anomalous. This unit is intrigued. Is there anything unusual about these ships? Yes, your ladyship. We are picking up traces of recent combat on many of the vessels. Numerous traces. Based on the initial radiation background assessment, it appears that an Adeptus Mechanicus weapon has been used against them. I hypothesize that the schism between the Cognizance Fleet has reached a climax. My tech comrades raised arms against one another. It is with sorrow that I register this information in the archive. Request a landing aboard their vessel. We have received a standard denial of request message, your ladyship. What outrageous impudence. Patch me in. It will be done, your ladyship. Request denied. We are receiving only the message voiced earlier. Then we'll leave them alone and we'll head towards the bigger ship. Your ladyship, according to the ship's registry, we were looking at the Arc Mechanicus Hermetico. We picked up a Vox signal coming from her. Permission granted. May the Messiah of the Discontinuing reveal the way to a safe docking gate. The raspy voice of the person who recorded the message is vaguely familiar to you, but you cannot put your finger on it. Requesting the right to participate in the first boarding party. Evaluating shuttle docking options. Is there a safe docking spot? Not at the moment, your ladyship. The damage to the hull makes observations difficult, and the surviving vacuum locks are sealed shut. I hypothesize that the proper vacuum lock may be opened using my personal access code. Justification? A message from the Arc Mechanicus. Alright, assemble the boarding crew. It will be done. And we're going to roll with, yes, the A team. Alright, let's go. And there's like 3 other people there I'd love to take. There's so many good companions in this game as far as abilities go. It's great. Alright. It's party time. Excellent. Let's see what we can do here.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Left in the dust. Oh, this ship looks a little, wounded. The cogitator screen glows faintly. You take a closer look and realize it has been gutted. Its innards replaced with candles that cast glints on the black plexiglass. Oh, that's funny. It's not a real cogitator anymore. I want to be a real boy. Barbarians are pillaging the ship's supplies. I am registering a Category 9 blasphemy. What do you got here? The ancient servitor seems dead. The infrequent twitching of its head is the only glimmer of life left in him. The numerous augmenta regalia embedded in the body of the servant of the Omnissiah speaks to its high standing and devoutness. Can you activate him, Pascal? The tech priest carefully touches the servitor's withered body with his mechadendrites. Data spikes slide out of them and slink into the servitor's augmentics. Pascal's Vox sounds thoughtful and slightly puzzled. I identify this unit as Magos Logos Hectodon the 11th. The unit received 7 commendations for advances in astrography recorded in the Fleet Archive. The unit, he liked watching the stars. He called them beacons left for us by the Omnissiah. The servitor gives a jolt, raises his head, and fixes its augmented eyes on you. The large black circles of his visors are cloudy and covered in scratches. A pained moan comes from the speaker on the servant's throat. Unit status operational. Unit identifies itself as no data available. Error. Malfunction. The Omnissiah knows. What? Pascal sighs heavily. He is suffering. This unit is long past its operational life expectancy, but the particularly ancient and sacred true flesh it was awarded for its outstanding service to the fleet is still prolonging its years. Do you know it? This statement is false. My archive has no record of any encounters with this unit or any archive requests concerning it. I just know, and I grieve. Pascal touches the servitor's pale skin covered in inky cacography. The tribe's people inscribed his body with the blessed manual of maintenance and repair. Hypothesis? Ignorant as to the true purpose of this litany, they perceived it as a health-replenishing magic spell. Deck Brother Hectodon 11. This unit identifies itself as Pascal Hanuman. Can you hear me? Do you know me? Can you tell me what happened here? A jumble of sounds comes from the servitor's speaker, as if a very old man who has outlived his faculty of speech is trying to utter once familiar words now strange to him. Then suddenly a spark lights up his visors and he utters with great strain, "Executing function. All reserve capacities engaged in executing primary function." Poor guy. I am registering evidence that a Volkite carbine was fired here. I'm registering a protocol violation. Use of weapons by Adeptus Mechadandrus soldiers inside one of the ship's bays. Well then. Wait a minute, who's this guy? Hold on. Oh, back
Let
over here.
us not dawdle.
Who's this dude? Abel. A quiet and mysterious as always, Abel Hanneman's demeanor is a mixture of cautiousness and curiosity as he inspects the ship's ruined interior. When you approach him, he acknowledges you by saying softly, "Death's footsteps were heard here." My tech comrade insists on taking part in this excursion. This is as much of a priority mission for him as it is for me. We're both expecting to meet our mentor, Amarnat. I see. Alright. Well then you may follow us around. Let's see if we can
I always have a backup plan.
find what we're supposed to see up here. There's cannons, and somebody who seems like they might be important. The lean, hunchbacked man studies you with his piercing gaze. One of his eyes looks you up and down. The other has been replaced by a bolty augmetic, ancient and adorned with gold. It is deactivated for some reason. He states in a dry voice, "The ghosts of nothingness have entered the deck of the Akjan tribe. I greet your tribe. Come in peace." The man shrugs indifferently. His voice is tinged with sympathy. "It does not matter. You are ghosts." The middle-aged man carries a potential coil on his shoulders, after the manner of tech priests. It is held in place by straps. It's not connected to anything. Its weight has given him a hunched back. One of his arms has been replaced by an exquisite tech scribe augmetic, but the quills and styli are incredibly dull, as though they have been scraped against bare rock, and the limb's servo motor is dormant. The sight of the mangled augment elicits a pained grimace from Pascal. I am registering evidence of precious, true flesh being operated in unacceptable conditions. The markings indicate that this sacred metal was fashioned many centuries ago on blessed Mars. Putting it to such crude and careless use is an insult to the Omnissiah. Pascal, what do you make of these people? Hypothesis. This primitive community is made up of descendants of low-ranking technomats who once serviced the deck. The name Akjen derives from category Akjen. Ak stood for acolyte category, which serviced the main decks. Gen referred to service staff who were assigned general, as opposed to specialized maintenance duties. The man looks at you and Pascal with indifference. He does not seem to have understood a single word. How do you survive here? And what do you do? We hold a vigil for all of existence, and the spirits of the mechanisms give us water, food, and nutrient mix. We thank them for that with rites of machine servicing and maintenance. So commands the great entity. I am registering multiple deviations from the catechism of maintenance and operation in the actions of these units. Hypothesis: the breaches of sacred instructions do not stem from a malicious lapse into heresy. They are a consequence of the rite having been lost to memory. A grave heresy, but not as profane. Or what is the great entity? The supreme deity, the spirit of wisdom and revelations. It bears the name Marnat. Amarnat. It's V'ger. The name grabs Pascal's attention. He says sternly, "I am registering a meaningful linguistic pattern, requesting all available information on Marnat. Marnat is a divine being of great wisdom. It was this great wisdom that discontinued the cycle, and all who partake of it lapsed into nothingness. We never partook of the wisdom, which is why we exist. And I have nothing to tell you about it, ghost." Have you seen anything unusual lately? The echo of an old crime was heard beneath the arcing vaults of our home. The tribesman nods at you gloomily. A ghost of nothingness walked among us, of like appearance to you but without a face. He spoke words that must not be spoken and then penetrated the chamber of Obvious. And our abode was shaken by the wrath of the gods for days, and we felt as though we were drifting through nothingness. Pascal lowers his head and says quietly, "That is him, my mentor, Amarnat." What is the Chamber of Observus? An abode of deities and mighty spirits secluded from mortals. The man points toward the entrance to the lift shaft. down this great tube they used to descend to the mortals. Now they have all retired to the house above Zerus, the calm and keen-sighted, there to remember and mourn the world that once was. The unit has given us distorted description of the observatorium, the bay that housed the Hermeticos Bridge. There, under a grand dome of glasscrete, the wisest hierarchs of the Adeptus Mechanicus would spend time in reflection and strive to discern the Omnissiah's guided signs in the glitter of the stars. Pascal hesitates, then adds worriedly, "Correction. This data is a hypothesis. An archive search yielded no confirmation of this data. My possession of it is an anomalous cognitive fluctuation." Was he alone? No. Other ghosts walked with him, but he alone had a mind and a will. No others did his bidding. I want to get in there. Abandon this thought. Your kind can't go in there. The great tube was made for the travels of gods, not mortals. Only one who has the blessing of Pref, the great spirit who rules this deck, may approach the great tube. But even such a one will have tried in vain, for the great tube's spirits have sealed its gate, and will only open to those who know the divine word. And the rust wraiths ensure that humans don't steal the word. They make short work of any thief. Your guesses are amazingly spot on, Pascal. The tech priest is taken aback. He pauses to think, then says with no great confidence, "This statement is false. Each of the hypotheses was logically deduced from our present situation." What is the divine word? Words command all of existence. The gods ruled the universe using words of power. There was a time when mortals too were granted knowledge of them, but that time died along with the world. Hypothesis: the term divine word refers to a command litany. A thorough understanding of the situation aboard the Hermetica will allow me to select the correct litany and recite it to the mechanisms that are still operational. I'm pretty sure I know what these are, but what are rust wraiths? The man points at one of the motionless statues. The ancient ones, the servants of the gods. They used to be the gods' great warriors. Now they guard the peace of this universal cemetery and see to it that mortals don't challenge the divine order. The Skitari, the deck guard. These immortal servants are an elite detachment of the crew, blessed with the most ancient and wondrous augmetic enhancements. They could survive in a sleeping state for centuries. Their presence here is unusual. Typically, the immortals only leave their storage chapel on special orders from the bridge. So how did the faceless ghost get in? He knew the secret. The spell was not of divine origin. Its power surpasses that of the gods. It was born in the mysterious depths of irregularity, and soon after a mortal first uttered it, the word was no more. Pascal waves a mechandandrite at him in annoyed dismissal and says impatiently, "The blessed Amaret can command any mechanism on his ship. The indoctrinal heresy uttered by this unit is unworthy of attention." See, who is the spirit Pref? The master of this deck, the second most important god after Marnat. Mortals cruelly betrayed his trust once, and he hasn't talked to them or protected them since. Pref only ever answers the shaman's invocations, and only occasionally at that. The tribesman's profane speculations most likely describe an important machine spirit that remains awake, requesting a conversation with the unit identified as the shaman. Good. Don't seek to enter the god's abode, Ghost. It's no place for you. Farewell, Ghost. I hope nothingness summons you back into its embrace soon. Really? Well.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Okay, there's a little loot here. What do we got? We got loot back here. We got goods. Give me the goods. Then we got some goods off in this direction, do we? Yeah, we do. What's back here? Goods. Got holes in the floor. What is this? How dare they set up camp right in the heart of the sacred machine. This is sacrilege against the blessed remains.
I always keep my options
This noble's
open.
warrior's armor and augments are undamaged in that they are dead. What killed them? So there's this. The bay was breached from the inside. Traces of scaling suggest the use of a melted charge. I recognize the pattern of the chant. They are imitating a reactor shutdown vigil. Something simply ordered the spirit of this machine
Is there money to be made?
die. The handprints and footprints indicate that the locals have turned the sacred unguent tank into something like a ritual font. They've lost the ritual. They've lost the history of it, and now they just do stuff. Okay, where do we need to go then?
Let us see what
Oh, there we
I
go.
found.
That's what I'm looking for. A door. Goods. What do we have here? The wearer gains 30 strength. Oh. If the wearer has not moved the previous turn, their range attacks with heavy weapons deal 50% damage until the end of the turn. Okay, that's for a different character. The wearer gains 25 athletics and becomes immune to toxin. That's nice. Crimson Oblivion, worn by a death cult assassin. Whenever the wearer kills an enemy, the enemy explodes. Okay, yeah, so I'd like her to have that 30 strength, but I'm not going to swap out her gloves. That would really go nice on the wolf, dude. There's nothing else in here. So where are we going? Is that,
Keep your
is there
wits about you.
a door over here that we can get through? No. What are we looking at here, folks? Oh, here we go. This is returning the void ship. I don't want to go there. We gotta figure out how to get in here. There's no way out there. Oh, and there's a big door over here. Okay, this is obvious. Oh, yeah, but that's the dude. We were talking to him earlier. Can you open this door? We would like to go up to the observatorium. Request denied. Access to the lift system denied. Services in Obscuratoria mode. An Obscuratoria is a complete ban on holy ministry within the compound. Any and all sacred maintenance procedures are deferred until after the ban is lifted. An Obscuratoria is declared when a temple has been compromised by suspected corruption before a battle or in the event of a major critical event. This unit cannot select the appropriate countermanding order without knowing the exact reason the Obscuratoria was declared. Okay. Well,
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
what's this? I'm registering residual traces of paper combustion inside this cogitator's casing. Did they fuel this repository with knowledge of books? Hey, it's like AI. This ancient warrior's flesh, yeah. What's this? What kind of paranoia drove the crew to place the cannon platform here in the very heart of the ship? Okay. Cogitator, what's this thing? The marking does not follow fleet protocol. This constitutes category 10 blasphemy. Chief, we gotta get in there. What draws you here, ghost? Who are you? The undertakers of the world that expired in the great discontinuing cycle. The mourners holding an eternal requiem for the universe. Let the cycle be discontinued. It was discontinued a long time ago. Do you believe the world has perished? This statement is true. The world ceased to exist a very long time ago. It turned to nothingness, to ashes. All that's left of these ruins, the last shard of the universe. It's cenotaph. Is that why you call us ghosts? Yes. There is only nothingness outside the ship. Sometimes it spits out ghosts born out of the world's ashes and they wander in. The sight of you saddens us, for we mourn you. Alas, there is nothing we can do to help you since you do not exist. What do you think destroyed the universe? The unthinkable was wrought. The cycle was discontinued. This tribesman's mind is full of the most unenlightened superstition. Why does this unit seemingly know less than some primitive barbarian? Is that good or bad? Neither, it just happened. It was a grievous event, and we grieve. The man sighs and makes a sign with his hand that is vaguely reminiscent of the tech priest's gesture to ward off evil. Farewell, ghost.
I always
Okay,
have a
but
backup plan.
these guys are just frozen here. Find the clues that explain why the lift. This is odd. I see scratch marks from several claws. Now everything is clear. A battle was fought here, and during preparations for it, Amernet declared the observatorium off limits. Okay. Even to fellow servants of the Omnissiah, the explorators. It was an internal conflict, and he expected his erstwhile tech comrades to become his enemies. Alright. What's next? What do you got for us, Pascal?
Let us not dawdle.
Does that give us enough information here to get this guy to let us up? Pascal, unblock the lift. Pascal enunciates solemnly, accompanying each word with Ben-Hadrat commands. As its first pronouncement, this unit declares that no security threat to the High Observatorium is present. As its second pronouncement, this unit orders the operation of the lift system to be restored. As its third pronouncement, this unit confirms its authorization to issue that order. The servitor's jerky movement is accompanied by a shower of sparks from its mouth. His optical visor makes a series of clicks. Unit's hierarchical rank not recognized. Authorization to give orders unconfirmed. Awaiting confirmation. This unit is not part of the Hermetico chain of command. It must introduce itself to the ship's systems for confirmation of its authority. Okay. What does that mean? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What if we choose Pascal?
Ready for data input.
Nothing. Okay, y'all are confusing me here, Owlcat.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
The hell am I supposed to do? I don't get it. What else can I do? Talk to this guy again? Is there anything new here? No. Okay, come on. I just spent the last 90 minutes talking my way through this episode. Come on. Give me a hand here. Throw me a bone. Tell me what the hell to do. God. Find clues that can explain why the lift is blocked. Meet the Pref spirit. How do I do that? There's nowhere I can
We
go.
are the spearhead of the Imperium.
Meet the Pref spirit. Is it her? It's not. Wojtek, you got any, like, I don't know, clue about what I'm supposed to do here? This is another gotta go to Google
I always
moment
keep
to
my
figure out how to
options open.
progress this. I mean, it's just... I've exhausted every line of dialogue and there's nothing left. I don't understand. Why do you do this, Owlcat? Why do you do this to us? Why do you turn a really cool game into these shitty moments where we don't know what the fuck to do? God. Frustrating. Okay. It says what?
Keep your wits about you. Is there money to be made?
Oh my gosh. This is beyond me. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, let's see if we can get this. Which one is it? This one? Yeah. I gotta show you guys this because this is driving me nuts. Now can't pass the dialogue with Pref. The big problem with any Alcat mission, which involve anything but a great deal of hitting with a sword, is that you never know when you're fucking up and when it's just bugged. God, what? Where's the tech shaman? Man, just so frustrating. God damn it, Alcat. You guys just can't help yourself, can you? You just... It's like... It's... Oh, God. Where is the shaman? Where is the actual tech shaman?
I always have a backup plan.
Right there. Okay, Jesus. Have you come to speak to the great... You know what? I don't even care about reading anymore. Guys. Oh, I'm begging you, do something about this, Alcat. Just do something better than this. This is why your games can't be top tier, because you do stuff like this. Leave a person wandering around for 40 minutes looking for it. The aging barbarian's skin is covered in tattoos of mechanisms, as if the ink drawings of cogs could pass for actual augments. Wires and scraps of flex tubing are braided in his hair, as well as shards from broken data slate screen. Cogitator circuit boards hang on threads from his large ceremonial drum. I am registering category 6, 7, and 8 blasphemies in this tribesman's vestments. Only enlightened tech priests are authorized to dismantle and interact with the bodies of sacred machines. Painting the skin in a crude imitation of true flesh is a profane mockery. It is how I venerate the iron spirits, who have done their duty and passed into nothingness ghosts. I do this in the hope that I might gain some of their wisdom. This statement is false. I am not registering any veneration. Who is Pref? Our deck's great patron spirit who protects it and watches over everything that happened on it. Pref used to be a kind of father to us until wicked people tricked him. That was when he disowned the mortals who lived here. He wiped the names of everyone who used to be under the patronage from his memory and no longer recognized their faces. Since then, Pref has been a harsh and cruel-hearted master who is deaf to our prayers. Logic test succeeded. Pref. Hypotheses. The barbarian is using this debased designation to refer to a prefect enumerator, an especially sacred cogitator served by all the deck's junior machine spirits. I am registering a category 6 blasphemy. Tribesman claims to communicate with it. Only enlightened adepts of the Omnissiah are permitted to interact directly with a prefect enumerator. Well then. Gonna be lunchtime here soon. I'm getting starving. Hypotheses. The part of the legend that speaks of disowning the mortals and forgetting their faces describes the removal of access rights from authorized units. For reasons unknown, the prefect enumerator was ordered to cease accepting commands from outsiders. How do you talk to Pref? The tech shaman raises the roaring mechanical sensor and inhales a lungful of its aromatic exhaust fumes. Tribesman's eyes grow dim and he puts his hands on his drum. His fingers strike the taut synthetic leather with remarkable deftness and rhythm. Like this. Pascal frowns and says darkly, I am registering a category... Blast it, layman. This blessed smoke is meant for the sacred machines, not your lungs. Then the tech priest falls silent and listens carefully before uttering in astonishment, this primitive melody is a language. Our language. A variety of rhythm-based tech vernacular in which meaning is created by the links of pauses between the signals. We have come to plead for Pref's benevolence. Every word you say is accompanied by a series of quick drum taps in a complex, choppy rhythm. Crackling comes in response from a vox hidden somewhere inside the wall. The tech shaman tilts his head and says, the great Pref would like to know who is speaking to him. The prefect enumerator is running an identification procedure. Given existing data on the machine spirit's refusal to follow orders, the chain of command, I project that standard identifier will be assigned a low priority. I see. Well, introduce yourself formally, Pascal. This unit is Magos Explorer Pascal Hanuman, a member of the Cognizance Fleet, presenting doctrinal compliance and algorithmic obedience certificates. The indicator on Pascal's neural cogitator glows. New data lights up Pascal's new spheric aura that no layperson can see. The tech shaman translates Pascal's words into quick taps on his drum, its dangling circuit boards jingling dramatically. He inhales the aromatic exhaust of his roaring sensor, listens carefully, and says in a strained voice, Pref asks why he should treat your words with respect and not scorn them. Pascal's voice becomes dry and bristly. The machine spirit is requesting to know this unit's access privileges. It refuses to submit to a stranger's will without a compelling reason. Machine spirits can be capricious and undisciplined. After years without sanctified maintenance, this one may have forgotten all about obedience. Normally, in cases like these, a tech priest would bring the wayward spirit to its senses with a shock from an electric prod or a blow from a wrench, accompanied by the litany of uninterruptible obedience. Well. Point at the surrounding ruins. Are you sure this is not a compelling reason? The hypothesis is of merit. This unit is conducting a rescue mission in which the safety of the Archmage's rank unit is at stake, requesting emergency authorization. The tech shaman translates Pascal's words into a sharp staccato of drum taps and then nods with an important air and says, Pref inquires why you are seeking his friendship. Hypothesis, the prefect enumerator's request is to be interpreted as what is the purpose of your visit. You know the answer yourself, Pascal. I have come to discontinue the cycle. The tech shaman listens to the crackling coming from the hidden vox in response and shakes his head contritely. The great Pref does not recognize your name or your face. He will not grant you his friendship and bid you to leave. Pascal's vox hisses angrily and he shakes his head. The prefect enumerator's reaction is anomalous. Such disregard for regalia can only be explained by protocol, signifying an extreme degree of danger to the vessel. Okay. That's it. That's all we got out of that. Okay. What's our next choice here?
Let us not dawdle.
No choice there. Oh boy. And nothing else for you there. Okay. What are my options here? Well, what else does it say? Messiah, use force. Pascal saw this in someone's post work. Dumb quest design like this. Yeah. It's a badly designed quest, the Reddit thread says. Yes. Pascal answers, I am the Messiah of discontinuing. Pascal shows a show of force. Pascal, you know the answer yourself. Just make it more clear. Lots of Pascal and Messiah junk in the answers. I did that, now I can't do anything. That's where I'm at. I saw a video that after getting the pref's approval, you got to talk to the servitor again, but it doesn't give me any talking options. And find out why the lift is blocked subquest is also still active. The lift subquest I got it working, but looking at the frozen soldiers. Frozen soldiers. Reload, only talk to the chief, talk to him first, and go through every dialogue options. Yeah. Show of force. You know the answer yourself, and then go talk to the servitor. What? So I had to do this in a very specific order, is what you're saying? Is that just what today is going to be? Because I've touched all these guys. And he gave us the quest update earlier. I can't believe this. You gotta be kidding me. We have come to plead for the benevolence. What are my other options? Okay, here we go. Let's try some more stuff. Jeez. Tell him you're the Messiah of discontinuing. Some identify him as the Messiah of discontinuing. Okay, what's next? Preface why you should treat your words with respect and not scorn them. You are eminent and venerable Magos. I cannot ask for more than that. Blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of this quest already. Tell it something profound and spiritual. I'm just sick of this. You have pissed me off, Owlcat. You've made me mad. Plead for the benevolence. What now? What am I other? I just got to keep clicking and think of show of force is in order. Great. Statement is true. My power is my authorization. Acknowledge it or you will regret it, wayward spirit. Pef acknowledges your power, Ghost. Does. He asks you why you seek his friendship. Prefect enumerator's request is to be interpreted as what is the purpose of your visit. Okay, tell him you're on a mission and... What? Okay, can we do it now?
I always keep my options open.
No. Come on! You gotta be kidding me. Do we even need the old man? Messiah of discontinuing. Show of force. Come on. Is this gonna work or not? Just clicking through this and nothing's happening.
Keep your wits about you.
Oh, come on. I'm so frustrated now. Really? I just want to do this quest. What's the real solution? What's the one that's gonna work? Okay.
Rise
Well,
to the top,
I
or
just
get
don't
left in the
understand.
dust.
Jesus, it's just there's... How do I advance this quest? It has to do with the order of the replies? God, I'm absolutely stuck here. What? I'm gonna click on everything.
I always have a backup plan.
I mean, not that I haven't already. I've clicked on everything. We clicked on this, it's got candles in it. Click on all this stuff here. Clicked on everything. I've got no options. How does a game... You guys... This is what I don't understand. I don't understand it when a company is like all hell-bent on releasing more DLC and they've got quests that are this broken in their game. Like, this is broken. Fix this.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I can't believe this is in this state. I just can't believe this. I've clicked on everything. I've done everything. I've done all the dialogue options with this person. So... Find my powers, Magos Explorer. Great Pref does not recognize your name and face. So what? Okay. Alright. This is why I don't stream stuff, because shit like this happens. And now I'm stuck. So I'm going to have to go offline and reload the game and apparently click things in the exact perfect order in order to unlock this goddamn door. Fuck you, Alcat. I'm so fucking tired of you guys doing this shit in your games. This is why I can't stream. Can somebody please just make a goddamn video game that actually functions? Fuck. Alright, guys. It's not happy gaming anymore. It's just irritated gaming. Once again, the game company that pisses me off the most is Alcat. They make such potentially fantastic games, and then they pull this bullshit. Fuck. I'm out of here. God damn it.